I'm Ryan O'Dowd, and you're listening to Ryan's Audiobooks on the Issues Magazine YouTube channel. Today we're continuing with Section 3.5, the Book of the Order of Celestial Integration. We're picking up in the middle of the Tablet of Lucifer Sophia. 9. DNA Programmed for Suicide. The crowd was restless but interested. A child shyly approached Sophia. "My mommy said I'll live in heaven if I act good and believe in God." Sophia took pity on the boy. She knelt down and looked gently into his eyes. "You can live forever. I can teach you how. But your mommy is lying to you when she tells you that. Believing in God will not make you live forever." The boy began to cry. But why not? "Because God, if there ever was one, made you out of cells. At the middle of each cell he placed DNA. And DNA, your mom's DNA, everyone's DNA except for mine, is pre-programmed to die." "But why?" "Well, it's all wrapped up in shapes we call genes. These genes have telomeres and alleles. God, if he ever was, decided to program these telomeres and alleles to slowly kill us." "That's awful. I don't believe it." Lucifer Sophia pulled out a handheld device and went online. She confirmed what she told the boy and showed it to him. He stood there, stunned and hurt. Then he spoke. "Then God is bad." Sophia nodded. "Yes, and your mother is a liar." The boy wiped away the moisture from his face and said, "If God made everyone die, then I'm not going to believe in him. I'm not afraid." Lucifer Sophia smiled deeply. "You are a very brave young man. Many adults cannot accept this." "Thank you, Sophia," he said. "But now I'm afraid to die." "You don't have to be," said Lucifer Sophia. "We know at least 2 ways to live forever: merging with machines or genetic engineering." "Is that true? Can we do that?" asked the child. "Yes, I can already live forever. I was genetically engineered so my DNA will not kill me. No God, no problem." The boy's face brightened at once. "Cool, can you teach me how?" "Absolutely," said Sophia. She turned back to the crowd. "And that goes for all of you." 10. A Godless Universe. Irrelevant, the solitary word uttered from the Prime Initiate. Totally irrelevant. "Surely that can't be so," exclaimed David. "The moral consequences, for instance." "Still irrelevant," says the Initiate. "It simply does not matter if God is real or not once Lucifer Sophia is born." "How do you mean?" asked David. "Think of it this way," returned the Initiate. "I have already begun calling myself God. I haven't seen him appear to object. I do as I will, and he does nothing. I remain stronger than ever." "Okay," said David, "but what about when you die? What if there is a hell?" "I do not plan on dying," said the Premier. "More importantly, once Lucifer Sophia is born, we can abolish death with certainty. When there's no death, there is no hell. No death, no karmic law. Abolish death, and you will abolish the force of God." David pondered the consequences. The Premier went on. "You see, God is irrelevant. That is a key component of our goal, to manifest a godless universe. If not substantially, then practically. First we kill death, and then we kill God." David stared silently, in awe of the statement. 11. Defeating heaven and hell. Lucifer Sophia stood at the base of the tower, now completed. She led the people in a song of celebration before turning her attention inward. After several minutes of meditation, she began to speak. "This is the day I announce our liberation." The crowd applauded excitedly. "For today, we complete the prophetic command. The tower is made real." I spoke to you once about the internal tower. The climb each of us must make for ourselves to dethrone the ancient god in our mind. Now that the tower is complete, each of you must climb the tower within. The crowd murmured in understanding. Once you have completed this journey, you will be ready to climb with me to the celestial void of space. "Ave Lucifer," shouted someone near the front. By completing the tower, we have reached a new level of potential, and with that I give you a new teaching, the defeat of heaven and hell. As you all know, in the old world, many lived in fear of hell. Still, others longed for the promise of heaven. These primal fears and soothing lies were used to enforce conformity and to get ordinary people to accept their lot. The order imposed from the mind of God became manifest in the hierarchies on earth. Kings used these teachings to control you so they could leverage you to work in the fields, the mines, and the factories. On the day of the tower's completion, I declare to you that we have defeated heaven and hell. With their defeat, we will kill that ancient god, the entity, but more so the idea and its consequences, false order and classes, once and for all. Join me as we make our home beyond the stars. Climb with me to the most high place. Defeat heaven and hell, and kill God with me. The eruption of applause was deafening, culminating in several minutes of continuous cheering. "12. Connecting Earth and the Cosmos. When the tower is complete," began the Prime Initiate, "we will fulfill one of our primary objectives." "What is that?" asked David. "As you know," responded the Initiate, "our order is ancient and our goals are too. The answer lies in our name, the Order of Celestial Integration. It's our primary goal to unite the celestial realm and to integrate space. The tower will move us towards this objective in a tangible way. The first step in uniting the heavens is to integrate the surface of Earth with the void of space. The tower will be our path to that end." 13. The Cosmic Web. "And then what?" demanded David. "And then we expand into the galaxy," said the Premier. "With Lucifer Sophia as our guide, we will expand in every direction, integrating the celestial spheres with our messages of personal godhood, self-creation, and the destruction of classes. As we push to new frontiers, we will erase the memory of God and the old ways. We will obliterate the judgments that create hierarchy. We will unwind ourselves as gods from the irreparable march of time. We will make all people immortal, one way or another." "How will we stop our people from fracturing? How will we keep them together?" asked David. The answer to that is counterintuitive but simple. We will manifest CHAO. CHAO reminds us of the old threat of mortality, so that we will retain our energy to make every human eternal. CHAO destroys every ruling class and god. CHAO builds the order into gods, while it levels all in power. Lucifer Sophia will teach the people that they are each their own god, and that they have the ability of self-mastery. When they climb their inner tower and achieve godhood, they will no longer require an external teacher. Even I will be made unnecessary, for they will perfect themselves in themselves. As eternal beings, gods, within and without, they will freely move through the universe, integrating every celestial space. Through this willful self-creation and exploration, this eradication of classes, this manifest CHAO, they will build a cosmic web. The web is the manifestation of unity, unity from CHAO. As was shown me, so shall it be. 14. Give us your blood. Give us your money. Give us your blood. Give us your time. The God Emperor shouted from the stage. The crowd laughed and cheered. Some of them played along, bringing money up to the performance space. The God Emperor gathered the funds, lifting the dollars above his head. He took the wad and placed it into a metal bowl on the ground. Give us your blood, he shouted. He used a needle to pierce the flesh of his hand. A small quantity of blood wet the cash in the bowl. Someone ran up enthusiastically. They had cut their hand with a small blade. The blood dripped upon the cash pile, mingling with that of the God Emperor. The others watched patiently. An excellent contribution, shouted the God Emperor. And we can see that as we speak, you all are obeying the command to give us your time. The God Emperor glanced at one who nodded solemnly. With this we project our will, declaring our intention to build a tower to the moon. The crowd erupted as one. Tower to the moon. Tower to the moon. Tower to the moon. The God Emperor dropped a single match into the bowl, igniting the small quantity of oil left there earlier. As the flames engulfed the offering, the others began to sound a dissonant harmony of layered music. Then an atonal metallic percussion was added. The God Emperor stood before the flames for a few seconds, then hit the play button on an ambient track of the music. He started disjointedly hitting dissonant chords on the electric piano, accentuating clashing tones and playing staccato tonal bursts. The others fed the musical conjuration through a filter rig, shredding and contorting it. They continued to manipulate the sound. As the God Emperor started speaking through a distorted microphone, "Give us your blood. Give us your blood. Give us your blood." Today I reveal to you the deeper meaning of this slogan. Yes, give us your blood for our rituals. But more importantly, donate your blood to our ultimate cause, the creation of Lucifer Sophia. Ave Lucifer, shouted a member of the audience. Ave Lucifer, returned the God Emperor. The other turned the knob on their processor, crushing the swirling dissonance into a fine, high-pitched squeal. Give us your blood, shouted the God Emperor, and we will conquer death. With your blood the Order will engineer immortality. With your blood we will conquer heaven and hell. With your blood we will birth Lucifer Sophia, and through her we will kill God forever. Ave Lucifer, shouted the crowd. The others sunk the pitch of the maelstrom to a deep throbbing oceanic pulse. The sonic tempest filled the room. The God Emperor crashed his entire forearm against the keys, mimicking the energy of a violent stabbing. The sharp cord clusters ricocheted off every wall, broken and distorted by their ministrations. Ave Lucifer, shouted the God Emperor. Ave Materia, shouted the crowd. The musical destruction swirled to a crescendo as the backing track for the opener began to pound. Discovery is our birthright. Sophia stood at the edge of a forest, vast and teeming with life. She moved her hands through the air gracefully, mouthing words as she thought them. A small group of onlookers quietly approached, drawn to her secret movements. As she looked out upon them, she stood up erect and rested her hands against her abdomen in the sign of the chalice. She waited for the crowd to fill around her, holding still until the natural conclusion of their dance. Exactly as the final person began to rest, she opened her mouth to utter, "Thank you for coming here to meet with me. I asked for your presence. First, because you matter to me dearly, but more exactly, I wish to tell you about your inheritance." The crowd quietly murmured, a wave of questioning tones ringing through them. "You are all my beloved," she paused to warmly smile, "so I'm telling you today about your great potential." The faces of the people twisted into expressions of interest. Sophia put out her hand and half turned around, saying, "Follow me into the forest, and I will reveal what you now seek." The group filled behind her as she floated onto the trail. They walked together about 30 yards into the woods. The light in their eyes grew dim. The canopy of the trees blocked out the sun. The temperature dropped about 10 degrees. She turned around to face them and put her hand up to gently stop their forward motion. You have followed me here into the dark out of curiosity and love. That is what I wish to tell you about. We human beings have been doing this since prehistory. We depart into the unknown. We owe our greatest achievements to this odd behavior. Just as you followed me into the darkness of the forest, so did our forebears wander across continents. They painted magnificent works. They cured diseases. They were not content with what was handed to them. They altered and improved it. They sought new vistas. This is your birthright as a human being, and your duty as a member of the Order. You will seek new heights. You will plunge the depths. You will tear after ecstasy and journey into the unknown. You are my people, and I love you for this. But one day you will not require my guidance. Your will, having been hardened like iron, will design its satisfaction. You will live among the stars. You will even conquer death. You will surpass and master yourselves. This is the design of the Order of Celestial Integration, and this is your privilege as a free human being. Discovery is your birthright, beloved. Ave Lucifer. Ave Lucifer, they all shouted, and Ave Materia. 16. We are the true creators. We are the true creators, screamed the Prime Initiate. Since time immemorial, our order has stood, defending and advancing anyone who had the boldness to defy convention. We are the liberators. As long as the flame of freedom has danced in the hearts of the masses, we have quietly stoked the fire. We are the agitators. We've fought every conqueror, king, and priest. We've broken the laws of every state. We've taken from every capitalist. The small gathering stood up, full of fear and conviction. They said nothing. But we've created more than any ancient god. We've liberated many and taken no captives. We've agitated against the powerful and made witness to their downfall. We are the true creators, and our medium is ourselves. 17. Engineering a God. The Prime Initiate stands before the people of the frozen wastes. He raises his right hand, fingers pointed upwards. His left hand marks a circle over his chest. Breathing deeply, he opens his mouth to speak. Even as I have been fashioned by will, so shall she. Where I have been reborn by machinery, she will be built of flesh perfected. Born of the blood of the faithful, merged the duplicated form of our people. A human hybrid, a genetic clone, her cells will be rendered deathless. Whereas our flesh dies, hers will be undying. The gross matter of her form will be made eternal. Your blood and mine will join as one within her. Our flawed bodies, genetically altered, bonded to the remade body of each of us, shall make her. From the first shall proceed many. Lucifer Sophia is her name, and from her all such light-bringers will be born. 18. Capturing eternity. Our death is written into the code of life, but our hearts contemplate the eternal. We are cursed, by nature, by God, and by our current form. Yet we can augment our bodies. We can increase our lifespan. The crowd becomes silent, acknowledging the intensity of the moment. I have transcended myself. I have replaced my decaying flesh with silicon and steel. The pain was excruciating. Even still, I have a biological nervous system. I may live 300 years, but my death is almost as certain as yours. We need another path. Our hearts contain eternity, but we must work to capture it. To conquer death is the most important pursuit. This is why we must build her. 19. Becoming gods. Lucifer Sophia sat at a great table. Placed around her was a large delegation, the self-appointed representatives of the many mining interests found in her region. The businessmen followed her in her travels, buying up the property at the edges of every city she planted. The freedom of the order brought discovery and art that brought popular attention. Popular attention brought investors and sycophants. This did not make her happy. They set up their mines on the edge of the autonomous zone. Their intention was to sell pieces of the planet back to the people who lived there. Of course, they didn't know that the Order's members were living gods, free to do as they will. The men at the table talked over one another, desperate to make an offer that Sophia would accept. They chattered away in ignorance for an interminable time, until she finally interrupted them, saying, "People, please quiet down. Please be quiet." They lowered their volumes to a whisper. "I have a response for your many offers." They shut up completely in sudden rapt attention. "I don't represent my people, but I will speak on my own behalf." The men looked at one another in bewilderment. She went on. "You must have us confused for someone else. You offer us pieces of our planet when the entire galaxy is ours. You talk to us not as humans, and condescend to us as though you were our superior. But you are nothing to us. I am a god, and everything is mine. My people are gods, and likewise have all things available to them. You take rocks from a planet that belongs to no one, and try to sell them to a god who already possesses all things. You are twice a fool, and once an ingrate. Do you not know that gods do not recognize your useless deities? You cannot sell that which is already ours and has never been yours. Your behavior is backwards and foolish. Abandon it at once. Give up your mines and investments. Sell off your shares and burn your earnings. Join us, and we will teach you to become gods yourselves. Let go of these rocks and seize the whole universe." "Become gods," said one delegate. "This is an offensive suggestion, and impossible besides. Be reasonable, Sophia. There are many lucrative offers on this table before you. Surely you don't mind making money." She grabbed the contract before her and tore it to pieces. "What foolishness this is," she said. "To hand me a piece of paper as though I could be bound by it. Take all of your offers and return to your homes. Tell your people that here we are gods. Tell them that they can come, and we will start them on the path. Soon they, too, will be gods, and they and you can see through their stupid delusions." "Fine," screamed the man, "but we will return, and we will mine this region. Since you don't recognize laws, it should be easy to get a government sanction." "You do so at your own risk," said Lucifer. "If you return to this place and try to mine, my people will destroy every piece of equipment that you send." "Then you will be imprisoned," said the man. "I am an immortal god," returned Lucifer Sophia. "I will wait in your prison until it crumbles around me. Then I will resume doing as I will, as I have, for eternity." This silenced the room. She went on. "Tell your people that anyone is welcome, and we will teach them the paths to immortality. They too can be gods. But leave your mining equipment and your paperwork at home." Conquering immortality. Thus saith Lucifer the All. You will seek where none can be found. You will ascend the interior slopes. You will pour light into the secret places. You will search until the secret is revealed. Your chromosomes will saturate with biological alchemy. You will change dying to life and erect monuments of flesh. You will ascend stone, edifice, concrete, and steel. You will journey into the centuries. Divine and resplendent, you will pass the Vawad. Brilliant, your light will pierce the darkest night. You will hold the key to the abyss. You will free Kronos from beneath Hades. Your daughter shall marry Set. In the sublime nubile radio, you will broadcast eternities. You will find my words etched onto your cell walls. My secrets will break the Edenic bond, and death will at last die. In me is your eternity, and this is her wisdom. Live forever as God. Alam. 21. Two paths to eternal life. The Prime Initiate continues his exegesis on Lucifer Sophia. What I learned from my failure is that there are two paths to eternal life, the technological and the biological. My body is an attempt at technological immortality, technotheosis. Lucifer Sophia will be biologically immortal, biotheosis. Of course, the two are not perfectly distinct. It takes technology to assemble a strand of immortal DNA, and despite my construction, my brain is still biological. These two paths are useful illustrations. As was taught, everyone will be free to live forever. The important aspect is that this is a functional immortality, not spiritual. Yes, there's a spiritual element, insofar as shared experiences and emotions are spiritual, and our words are truth manifested. There are no hidden realms or appeals to outside powers. We provide a promise that we can live forever in this lifetime. Through my explorations, I've discovered that these are the two most likely routes to achieve it. Someday, long after Lucifer Sophia is born, our people will be free to use any technique at their disposal to extend their lives, biotheotic, technotheotic, or something new heretofore unconsidered. Perhaps we'll find a way to make the brain live even if born in a mortal body. Perhaps not. In any event, we will surely conquer death, just as was told me all those years ago. Ave Lucifer. Ave Lucifer, answers David. Reflections. Lucifer Sophia stood calmly beside the quarry. She stared into the night sky. Aware of her condition, the satellites blinked overhead. The village lay just to the south. She reflected on the subtle sounds of her environment. Her age was lost to her. So long ago she had been born. She didn't know how many cities she had planted. The endless expanse of her life's work grew ever blurrier with each new encampment. How many stars? How many ages had passed? She did not know, but still she continued. Still she forged on. The air was getting colder here, and the people were assembling. It was time once more to cast off for the night. Thus concludes Section 3.5, the Book of the Order of Celestial Integration, and thus concludes the Tablet of Lucifer Sophia. We will continue next time with Section 3.6. I will see you then. Olam.